I had to bring in another Sly Cooper game from what I read.
That'll be nice.
I heard was it Sly Cooper and damn it, the Sucker Punch the Sucker Punch shit. What is it? What is the IP? What is the IP that Sucker Punch is known for? Just shout them out.
I don't. I want to say Infamous, but I don't think it's Infamous.
That's it. That's it. Okay. That's it. So the rumor mill got some new games for those two motherfuckers coming out somewhere down the pipe. It's one of those take it with a grain of salt things. Like somebody heard a guy say they knew a guy who knew a guy who knew
my
a
uncle
guy,
works for Nintendo. Yeah.
Yep.
No, well, how did you feel about the first two Infamous or the first three Infamous games? Right?
The Infamous,
the Infamized.
I love it. It fulfilled the need for the moment. I won't say that the Infamous franchise is full of games that have what we would call staying power, but in the heat of the moment, as they were out, they were checking enough boxes for me to want to check it out.
Okay.
And even like that last Infamous, I almost said First Light. I think First Light was the damn.
Well, Second Son was the last one, and then it had a DLC.
First Light was the DLC.
Yeah.
With the lady whose voice is done by Laura Bailey.
Yeah. Who I love her.
Laura Bailey is Diesel.
Like she can do anything.
She was if you're familiar with the old Japanese cartoon Shin-Chan, she was Shin-Chan in the Funimation dub.
Yeah.
I watched her like a handful of those episodes.
And then I think she got her husband into the Funimation
shit
and doing some shit.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. She married Willingham.
Yeah, Travis Willingham. Who's really
so,
awesome. Like,
they're out there.
I saw him at Comic-Con. Really nice guy and tall as fuck. That dude is much taller than I am.
Did you walk up to him and go, "Hey, look, buddy, I know you're doing Thor and that Square Enix shit, but you're no Chris Hemsworth"?
No, I did not say that because he'd have punched me in my fucking face, and I'd have ate it. I probably would have cried and asked him to sign my face at where he punched me. But just I'd have fucking stand out.
No, man, like
awesome dude though.
Like, stacked dude.
Yeah, Laura Bailey can do fucking anything at this point. When they're like Laura Bailey's, and I don't care, she's gonna kill it. That's it. But you're going Infamous. Did you play it out? You playing?
Yeah, I only played the first one. I mean, from what I played from the first one, it's all right though. I mean, I like the part where you could, depending how you could play, you could either be the good guy or the bad guy. But I definitely prefer that over Prototype. Prototype to me was.
Remember that? Remember when that was the fucking Civil War?
I was just about to say that. I was, because it was Prototype but better. And I got Infamous free off of the PlayStation Apocalypse shit. Remember when PSN went down for like a month?
Oh yeah.
And they gave us free games because of it. And that was one of the games I chose, and I played it for a good minute.
I think I had got it off of that too.
And I played it for a good minute, and it was all right for what it was. Part 2, I remember getting on GameFly of all things.
Still around. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. We were on Facebook, and I literally tagged out on the post, and I was like, "Yo, GameFly's still here," and they fucking answered.
I'm like, "Are they still around?"
Yeah,
they're like, "Yes, we're still here."
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. They are in the peripheral business now, basically.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're gonna outlast the Strata. That's my prediction.
Oh my god.
They're gonna be there before and after the Estrada.
They'll sell the last one.
Yeah, right.
They'll probably they'll keep the last one as a token, be like, this is our trophy because we know that we're gonna outlast you motherfuckers, and we're your constant reminder of the failure that is the Estrada.
At what point do we go? Do we get emails from Google, everyone, saying that you can if you just register, you can get a free one, like
for
just
real,
completely free.
At what point do we know what games is coming out for the Estrada? That's a good question.
They announced. I was just on some shit. The fact that he calls it the Estrada kills me.
Like Eric Estrada is offended right now.
Yeah,
He's
right?
like, I'm gonna change my name because of this shit now.
I think.
Like my 3 Chips fans who are old enough to remember watching me on TV, like
7 Married 3 and 7 Married 4.
Remember that? Yep.
But yeah,
I was calling it the damn Estrada.
I mean, there's a band named after him, like basically at this point. But yeah, like at what point do Google just go, we're done? We're done. Because like it's the writing's on the wall.
It's like anybody with a Gmail account gets like the free one.
Yeah.
So we're just shipping it to you.
Yeah, because I remember getting the notification that if you got a premium YouTube account, they would send you a brand new one.
And that was the Founders Edition, right? That's what they were sending you?
They were sending the ultimate, whatever the fuck it's called, some ultimate edition. It's a dongle and a controller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know it's bad when they can't even give that shit away, man.
No one wants that shit. No one wants it. Like no one wants that game. But no one's playing that at all. And then Microsoft came and was like, listen, we have a Stadia too. But we're just hey Stadia, look how we're doing it.
It's called Game Pass.
Game Pass, and it's on everything. And now we have cloud gaming, so you could definitely suck this there. And
but you know what they say? They say, you know what? But we just installed the search engine.
Yeah. You know what, Microsoft? Search bar.
I'll
Fuck
search.
you and your Bing. My God, man. That shit is but yeah, like you see, again, we go up on tangents because the shit we watch is garbage. Because this shit
this point, just trying to keep yourselves awake.
Yeah, because
it's like you don't want to run the risk of going to sleep and dreaming about that bullshit.
Yeah, because this shit is like this was bad. And the fact that you have to ask, like, hey, so what do you think?
For real.
I mean, wake up from a dream and you have a Stadia right next to you. Yeah, that's a fucking nightmare.
Oh God,
damn. Like the horse head in the Godfather.
Yeah. Like, holy shit.
Bloody Stadia.
Man.
It's gonna chase you like that big. What was that? That was it. Anchor. The in the game Control, that big shit with the eyeball on it. I think it's Anchor.
Remember that movie with John Cusack? I think it's Better Off Dead. I think where that little kid's chasing him with the bike. He's like, I want my $2. That's the Stadia right there. Play me, motherfucker. Play me, please.
Somebody play her.
So no, player, I ain't playing you.
Kapow! Kapow! About because this is garbage. Thank you, Jim Ryan.
With stores and stuff opening up, I'm kind of wondering if they're going to do like an in-store Black Friday drop.
Not this year.
Because that shit will be hectic.
There will be deaths.
It'll be so unorganized.
There'll be deaths. There's no reason for that to happen. Like, no, I wouldn't.
I seen what was it? The South Park episode, the Black Friday trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
What they were doing was they were making fun of when Xbox Ones and the PS4s were coming out, and so like the kids were split.
Okay,
it's like some of them wanted the Xboxes and some of them wanted PlayStations, and it got to the point where they're like, you might really have to throw hands.
Yeah. There's no point. Like, that's why I feel it's stupid when you put out limited edition consoles right now, and I think it's kind of tone deaf because, like, to have an Halo, I understand Halo Infinite's is your big game right now. To have a Halo Infinite console where people can't get regular ones is shitty. To have I think there's a Back 4 Blood console too. Like, I saw another one. I did see another limited edition console. To have these consoles come out for sale and people could barely get your base one is so tone deaf. And it's like, like we're struggling to get that, and you're going to put out these limited edition ones, and you can't even get the regular ones out. Yeah, are you fucking kidding me?
Talk about being limited 2 times, man.
And Al and I talked about this yesterday and a couple of times, but you listen to these like podcast interviews with Phil Spencer, Jim Ryan, or anybody who's in the know, and they never ask them about scalping. They never ask them about like how they working to make it where these people get these consoles. And when they are asked that, it's kind of like, oh, we know that people can't get them right now. We're working hard to get as many out there as possible. And it just shows you they don't give a fuck about who buys it. They just care about, they care about the sale at the end of their business. They want. They don't care about the install base right now. the install rate. The only thing that's great about it is like on the Xbox side, especially, is that these games are playable on all consoles, like both last gen and next gen, and the cloud and everything else. So you still have a way to get these games. On the PlayStation front, though, when they start going to a point where they can't make these games to work on the PlayStation 4 properly, we're fucked.
Well, to prove your point, I remember like today I was on Now in Stock, right? And because because we're trying to get a PS5 for my nephew
Yeah.
for his birthday or Christmas.
Let
So,
let me know, Al. By the way,
oh yeah, no, I got
remember?
you, bro.
Okay,
I
cool.
got you. So the thing about it was today Walmart had it on in the website.
Mm-hmm.
A Usually when you're on that
Oh,
website in stock now, you turn on the notification. As long as you're on the website, you'll hear the notification come on. So that shit came on that shit was sold at around 12:30 ish. Mind you, I got when I came back from lunch, I go to lunch at 1. So that means I got a whole half an hour before that shit, that was live on the website.
Yeah.
So when I come back at 2, I go down to check the history. That shit said sold the fuck out. And the minute I click on the Walmart website, guess what? They got it for like 9.99,
Mm-hmm.
8.79. They scalping that shit,
Yeah.
man. And that's what's so horrible about it. It's like you got people that actually want to play, want to have their hands on it, but they can't because scalpers is buying them.
Mm-hmm.
damn.
It's completely shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when Mike said about it's so useless making a limited edition for something that just trying to get the base console is limited already.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, with Black Friday, if they ever do it, like, it would be pure chaos, because I could see people getting jumped, stomped on. Literally, they're gonna fight
Yep.
you for it because they know they want it, and they'll do whatever it takes. So you're gonna have cops literally outside the stores and inside the stores just to control the riots, because
Dude,
that's
that's
what's gonna
gonna
happen.
I don't think it's gonna be a Black Friday drop at all. I really hope it isn't, because of the
Hmm.
carnage that's gonna ensue. I
Yeah.
think we'll probably start seeing them in stores maybe like next year,
Yep.
probably June, July of next year officially. But like where all stores are carrying a good amount of them, it'll be the same time next year. It'll probably be like fucking November next year.
For in
Well,
store.
yeah, I think like we're fully stocked in stores with no issues,
Hmm.
COVID protocols, are less restrictive. You'll start seeing it then, and at that point, people will be able to get our hands on them on a moment's notice. But it sucks when like I said, I think it's tone deaf on both ends, where it's like, you don't put out limited edition consoles when your base is limited. Um, don't put out numbers of, I think even PlayStation put out the number, oh, we sold 18.5 million
Which was
consoles. I think that's tone
which was
deaf.
some real roach shit
Yeah,
to do.
that's
Like
that's
you
super
don't do
tone
that.
deaf, because again, we always talk about console sales and install bases are two different things. You've heard these numbers of console sales, you've not heard install base numbers. And you're not finding a way to stop it outside of your site,
Yeah.
and it sucks, dude, because but also on the other end, there's not a lot of shit out right now that's worth you having a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. Just having
Yep.
the
That's the double-edged
yeah,
sword
just
of having
the
dual
better looking
releases.
version of a game. Oh, the load
Mhm.
times are better. Okay, that's nice. But just how you got this version, you're getting it because you're having a better looking version. That's all you're doing. So I'm okay just having the all right looking version and playing the fuck out these games. I mean, I have a PC that's fucking awesome, so I can just play these ships
Mm.
on the Xbox at end of it, play these games on that with no problems. If it's out on Steam, the same thing. On a PlayStation aspect, I mean, I wasn't looking to play Returnal like that anyway, so Returnal's not a game where I was going to buy a system for.
Mhm.
There's no Ragnarok will be the game I'll buy the system for. Like when that shit comes up, I have to have a PS5. Horizon Forbidden West, I can wait, get it, and play it. I'll be okay. But think about it, like right now, there are no games out that you're looking at and going, okay, I have to have this system to play. as great as Halo Infinite looks, that fucking showcase showed how beautiful the fucking campaign looks. If it drops on PC, I'll be fine. I'll be good. If it's coming out on the Xbox One anyway, I'll play it on that, and it'll probably look fucking great on that too, because the last 2 games look fantastic.
Yep.
On this, so we'll be okay. I'm not looking at it and going like I'm not sitting here looking at this thing and like, oh, I have to. One of my coworkers just paid $800 for one for a PS5,
what, the Xbox,
PS5. Oh,
Yes,
I
the
couldn't.
console?
Was it a bundle? Or was it just a
Straight.
It was just a console.
Mm.
And they were like, oh, I couldn't wait anymore. I couldn't take it. And it's like, you're an idiot. Because what are you playing on?
Exactly. I was about to say that should have been your next question. Oh, okay, cool. You got the PS5. What are you playing on it? Oh, some shit that I could play on the PS4.
Mm-hmm. That's what it
Watch
is.
buyer's remorse is gonna kick in.
No, it's not, because they're the type of person that they're known to spend money on gaming stuff. Way too much money on gaming shit. Like it's one of the, like they're eBay darlings when it comes to like, oh, I need this collector's edition and I'll spend $200 more than I have to get it.
Wow.
And
are they just like that for Sony consoles, or are they like that?
They're Sony. They're Sony
heads.
Straight Sony.
So
heads.
they're gonna be waiting for the God of War limited edition PS5.
Even if I don't have a PS5, I'm getting that collector's edition. Like, there's nothing stopping me on that one. I'm definitely getting that one. But
I used to have the collector's edition come with a physical fucking.
That might be the issue, and that's what having this couple like before we go. So just getting into this for a second. Yeah. The fact that you put out 2 SKUs, one being digital and one being physical, really changes the landscape of what collector's editions are going to be. And the fact that like Horizon Forbidden West came out and you have a digital code and you have a steelbook in it, and you're forcing people who love physical games to not only buy a collector's edition, but then buy the game physically. So they're paying an extra $70 on top of whatever the $250 or whatever the price point was for that collector's edition. I think is the fucking dumbest thing you could have done. You could have had people pre-order a physical or digital version of that game. I agree. Collector's edition wise, you could, because it's not like these collector's editions are made already and they're sitting in a warehouse. So you could have done that on a limited run, but on a limited run, how limited run and how strictly limited and Castlevania games, how they all do it. You could have done that shit and be like, oh, we're only going to make X amount. It's going to be this much and this much because they're a collector's edition and they're going to be limited in scope anyway. This is what we could have done. And we would have been, and you could have appeased both sides, those who are digital, and those who are going physical. And you'd have been good. You'd been good to fucking go with that alone. And you better have, because you're gonna have people out there that's gonna buy the digital version. They're gonna buy the collector's edition and buy that physical one anyway. You're gonna have that, like, fine, and it's cool too. If you want to spend the extra $70 to put a disc inside that case, go right ahead. But to be again, the one beef that I know that Al has outside of just the physical aspect of things is the fact that you're taking the choice away for a lot of people. And you're forcing them to do that. You're forcing them, the physical collector, to go, okay, I'm going to have to spend an extra $75 or $70 now because you don't want to do this. And now you're breaking your market up in a way. And it's kind of shit. Like, I understand what it is because, you have 2 aspects of it, but then you appease both aspects. You sit here and go, listen, we're going to put out both versions of that. You're not doing that. And so I hope they learn from that shit. And that, God of War does do, you can choose, I want a digital collector's edition where I want all this and just give me a fucking code, or I want the physical one that comes with the actual disc. And you're much better off, dude. I think, and again, that we go talk about the decision that Jim Ryan is making, like, or helping to make for shit. No, you could have put out just a disc version. You didn't have to have 2 SKUs. You could put out 1 SKU and you'd have been fucking good.
That's the Jim Ryan effect right there.
Whoever's idea it was, because listen, Microsoft did it, and I don't agree with. I understand what the S is. It's an entry level for the next gen. It's powerful. It's super powerful, just not as powerful as the Series X. I understand all that. You made a diskless system at 512 gigs. That was your first problem. Like, so now you're forcing. Now they have Best Buy has a bundle where they're selling the S and the Seagate 1 TB card, and it's $500, and you can get it right. You can walk into Best Buy right now and get it.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll stay right there when I walk into it too.
Like, that's crazy to me that you're, but like, you know, because you're forcing people to have to do that. I think that if Microsoft should have went the route that Sony went. If they were going to do that 2 SKUs, you should have went 1 SKU is going to be, you know, one is no disc, but it's the same thing. You know, it's an X without a disc and an S with a disc. I think that'd have been better off. But, you know, you have more people. I think the install base for the S is actually bigger than the install base for fucking for the X.
Because they're easier to get. Because like at first nobody wanted them. I mean, shit. That's how. Because when I got my S, that was that Best Buy or Walmart? It was say Walmart. Just went because like during the Scout Apocalypse, I was also out of interest of wanting the console, yes, but then also just to be part of it because like it was just one of those moments in time where it's like it's sadly this generation's version of where are you when JFK got shot. It's like where are you when the Scout Apocalypse went down? What system are you trying to get and got boxed out the game because of scalpers? And because it got so bad GameStop, so I had my laptop, tablet, and a phone on the GameStop website. I was following one of the Twitter accounts that was like, all right, so the drop's going to happen at such and such time, so like say 2:00. So around 1:57, everything that had a screen and a search engine is locked into the GameStop website. I'm already on the PS5 page, just hitting refresh, waiting to hit refresh at 2:00 just to see the shit saying stop. So it happens, and I'm spamming add to cart, add to cart, add to cart, and it's not budging. Every time I'd hit add to cart, and this is on all 3 screens, I'm hitting add to cart, doesn't add to cart. So refresh, add to cart, refresh, add to cart. It got so bad that if I'm on my Wi-Fi network, I'm banned from the GameStop website because they probably thought that I was a fucking bot. That's how bad that shit got. And then with Best Buy, there was that whole gimmick where if they didn't have it in stock online, they had it so that you can buy it and go and do a pickup from a nearby store. So I'm there trying to do that, and it's like, well, it's the add to cart for pickup at the Flushing location. I'm there, and it's teasing almost in a real taunting ass way, like the old dangling, the digital dangling carrot.
It's got the aura.
It's like we got it in stock. All you got to do is just hit the button and let us know you want to pick it up. So I'm doing that, and it's not going to the cart. So the whole time I'm like, man, fuck you.
What do you do? Like, what do you do? At this point,
and then
what do you do? Because, like I said, I stopped looking, and the one time that I had the option was to get it from a UK store, and I realized like that the extra cost was like, yo, you know what? It's not worth it, and the weight's not worth it for me.
Yep.
And it's just been like, yo, you know what? It's funny. Like, if we don't talk about it, I don't even think about it on that level.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's come down to. Like, I'm not thinking about having it. And, oh, yeah, I got to get this. And I can wait. I'll be okay because I've been playing all these awesome games on my PC anyway. So, you know, it's cool. Like, you know, to be, you know, Deathloop is a perfect example of a game that's PlayStation exclusive that's also on PC. That's so fucking awesome. And I played the fuck out of it. I'm good. I think I'll be okay. You know, people are mad if you don't have God of War. If you never got to play God of War, now you can play it on PC in January. Sony fans are pissed. That's stupid as fuck. Like,
I'll get over it.
Yeah, it is.
It's just but yeah, just run that shit off. Like, there you go. If Horizon Forbidden West came out on PC day and date, do you realize you get more people supporting this company and more people, and more fans of what Sony does?
Yep.
But it's like, as if Sony pays their rent. Oh, it's not a Sony exclusive. Like, dude, shut up. Those same people that was talking shit about Microsoft's press conference shit for Tokyo Game Show when Sony's last day to play and Xbox and Sony's won the console generation. Those are the same people right now on the same Twitter feeds that are sitting here crying because of Bud Snacks. While those Xbox heads are showing screenshots of Halo Infinite.
Got a little fanboyism, huh?
That's it. Come on. People are mad.
The pendulum.
I remember I read an article a couple of months ago. I want to say about a month or two ago. And it was Sony fans are mad that the next Skyrim may be exclusive. Or the next Elder Scrolls is going to be exclusive to the Xbox consoles. And they're bitching. And I remember reading that and looking at the feed and the comments. And everybody, that's not right. And it's like, and one dude was like, you got Marvel Spider-Man. You ain't have a problem then. You got Miles Morales. You ain't have a problem then. You got Deathloop. You got this. You got that. No issues then. Now they're taking a game you want to play and it's a problem. It's like, come on, man. So,
that Spider-Man thing, I hope that Square Enix hurry up and drops it so that they can show how incredibly underwhelming it's going to wind up.
Which one?
Because
about for
the Spider-Man. Yeah. Because like you look at every time they drop the new character, with that you get like a nice little story. And the stories are great. The stories are really great to play through. The way that they say craft and cultivate a narrative for each new character's injection point into the overall game-based canon is great. Like they tell good stories, but after that, playing the same level over and over again to level them up, regardless of what new tricks you have, or what new character you got, or what new skin comes out for that week, or what new emote you get, is that grind is just gonna get to you, and
not fun. Like
you're gonna not care.
And
that's it.
Like Guardians. I was watching some stuff on Guardians of the Galaxy, and at first it looked really. I talked about last night. I'm like, this looks actually pretty cool. Like, might give it a try. And then
I got it. I like it.
And then what I don't like is like bullet spongy combat.
Yeah.
Right. I hate that with a passion. Some of the voice acting I don't like. So like, and that's just me again.
Rocket's my favorite, right? Because with the little bit that I've played of it so far,
you're going to hear the inconsistency, the inconsistency in his voice after a while, and
you can say that.
But it gets annoying after a while. His voice gets annoying. Drax is actually pretty cool. I actually like the guy who does Drax's voice. Gamora's not bad. I think the guy who does the voice of Peter Quill is really good throughout the whole game. It's just like I said, the combat didn't grab me the way I thought it was, and it's certain aspects
seems to be that old Square Enix.
Yeah, and in certain aspects of the game, I'm just looking at like there's definitely some time padding. When we talk about how I hated that shit in Last of Us 2, this shit right here, they're gonna make sure you get 20, 30 hours of this shit or something, whatever they want you to play in it. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, definitely get that. But yeah, tons of quick time events was kind of putting me, which was a little off for me.
Those at all.
I'm not gonna
Hence
lie.
why I hate the is the Supermassive games, the Dark Anthology games, and I can't stand them because it's nothing but it's just quick time event and you move your character around. Like that shit's not fun to me. So yeah, so like they gave it. I think they gave it an 8. I think it was given a 7 and an 8, respectively, and I could see why. Like it's good for a moment.
Like, I'd have to play it a bit more to see which side of that pendulum, because like a 7 and an 8, they're like one number apart, but when you're ranking something or rating something, that's a world of difference. It's like a 7. is like, well, doable but kind of underwhelming. 8 would be possible hidden
Yeah,
gem.
pretty
So,
good. It's usually a pretty good game. You know, you look at an 8 and go, okay, yeah, I can give it a try. You look at a 7, it's like, should I
and
give it a try?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but the little bit that I've played about it, just trying to get used to the storytelling. Pretty good. I am enjoying the storytelling. I am enjoying the way that they're putting the story together. But it does seem like things drag on for quite a bit.
It does.
But very, very much. It feels like there's going to be a lot of this meeting could have been email moments throughout that
Yeah,
game.
yeah. You know,
But that's how it was in the first trailer. Remember that
yeah, we
all they
talked about
showed
that too.
was
Yeah,
it was a lot more talking than actual gameplay. And I think that was the
Yep.
thing with Guardians. To the last trailer, they actually showed some how this game looks, in gameplay.
yeah.
And I think with this one, they, I think they kind of learned from what they did with Avengers, with it being like
Single player.
monetizing and single player. Because in reality, if you're gonna make a game that's multiplayer, yeah, you got to constantly push out content. If you're not going to support it, the game's already dead. But at least give one
Yep.
good game with a good linear experience. And if you do, and if it does well enough, then let the replay value show for itself. Because back in the day, when we talk about the Super NES, Sega Genesis, or the 16-bit, Revolution, how many those games? A lot of games had replay value because it was that fun, and that's where
Well,
they got to come
Yeah.
back.
I've always kind of felt in the last few years, like I say, this, especially this the last console generation.
Hmm.
Um, I felt like when you come out with these games that are online MMO like type games or whatever, um, it seems like developers don't realize that you have people who will run through your game in less than a day when it comes out. You know, like being an old Warcraft player, being a Guild Wars player, all that stuff. You would come like like an expansion would drop, and you and your guild will try to run through some shit, and you'll get a world first in like 5-6 hours. Like these guys, like, and then you got to make sure. And I think like developers nowadays, it seems like, I'm not saying they do, but it seems like they forget about that shit. You forget that there are people out there who are just running through your content, and you know, just to be the first, just to get to the end and see what's next. You got to be ready
Yep.
for that, because that's a lot of people that are just running through your content, and then you expect them to play again, and you're giving them things that really don't matter. Like the loot stuff it doesn't matter. You know, just a game being a loot drop all day,
Mhm.
and you're not, and there's nothing behind it. It doesn't matter anymore. And so,
Like
you know,
Anthem.
Anthem was just plagued by a lot of shit. One of the definite things was just a lack of direction. But if it had direction, what they were putting out afterwards was what that direction was going in. Where, oh, we put out the Cataclysm event and all that. That was straight balls. So you would have lost people based on that and not really pushing on the story content and something else. So but again, when you look at these games, you know, Marvel's Avengers, I thought it was going, you know, it looked really good, and I like the aspect. But when you have to get with your friends to make this a better game, your game is lacking something. When you have to find, you're making it fun yourself, and the game isn't fun, it's lacking something. It's definitely lacking something. Marvel's Avengers was that game that was like, the story mode is really, really good. I enjoyed the fuck out of that story mode. And when I the post story, I played for maybe a day or two and realized that I was just going to get into a grinding area where nothing new was going to happen. You know, I can go around and try to, you know, collect collectibles, but that shit is stupid too. So like it wasn't going to work. And no matter now, you know, we're waiting. Oh, so the next content comes out 3 months from now. So in that 3 month span, I'm playing other games. What makes you think I'm going to go back to your game? You know, you
Well,
can't. That's
well,
your
yeah.
shit.
What makes it worse is, I think what the last update for that game is, they made the grinding twice more as difficult now because now it takes 2 times more to grind than how it previously was.
Yeah, because once you hit the level cap of
Mhm.
50, the last update gives you like champion
Yeah,
ranks that you can now
yeah.
level
Yeah.
through.
How Destiny did the light leveling after you made it, after you maxed out. And it's
Yeah.
just I understand it, but if we're going in the same areas and doing the same things,
It gets
I,
boring.
I don't want to do it anymore. And you know, you just find it with like I'm all right, I'm just like I'm gonna go play this now. Fuck it. Like I'll just play a single player game and not care about it. Like Deathloop I beat and I haven't gone back to only because I'm playing Metroid and I'm playing Back for Blood. Um but I'm gonna go back to Deathloop and try to speed run that game. But it's so good. Like it's so great that
Like as a developer, I would imagine that some of them are real pissed off. Like you would have to be pissed off to a point. You see somebody speed running a game that you tried to make as difficult. It's like I watch. I gave somebody a real night, a real good gaming experience. Ain't no way somebody gonna try to speed run my shit and then they speed run the
nah.
fuck out
Now
your
there are
game.
certain games that have a speed running mode.
No, some of them,
And
yeah, but
Mhm.
that's not
nah.
all. That's not all
Oh, no,
games
I know what
that
you're
are
saying,
made.
but like when
Mhm.
when
Like
when you
somebody speed running Demon Souls, and you're like, I tried to make this shit.
well,
So
you know
you
what?
don't.
Like I don't,
Yeah,
I'm not a
but
fan of
something
I'm
like
not a fan of glitching speed runs. Like that's I'm not a fan of. I've watched a lot of them, but I'm not a fan of glitch speed runs at all. Um, I like the speed runs where the strats are like getting around things a certain way, whatever. Like I understand like frame counting and all that other stuff, but I like that stuff. Like you're not going through walls to get something to happen. Like
Hmm.
I like those things. Somewhat when I watch the Demon Souls or the Dark Souls ones or even Bloodborne ones, a lot of them have been glitch runs. Um, some glitch runs that'll like save you 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or whatever. If you're doing a straight one where you're just running through the game, that's a good hour and change that you're giving up just running straight through the game and
yeah.
running around things or whatever, you know. But I get what you're saying. Like if you're a developer and you're pushing this game and you want everybody to see all the content you put into it, those guys who do speedruns have beaten that game so many times, they've seen all the content more. They've done it, It's just it's a
Or at least that's the hope, because some people could probably just like buy a game just to.
break it.
Because like another thing, like yeah, either that or just like trophy hunt.
Yeah.
To go get my 1,000 gamer score, get my platinum.
Yeah.
Watch somebody else or read a guide to see, okay, so this is how they got that. Well, this platinum don't look that difficult in the game. There's something that I wanted to try out.
Mhm.
So then next thing you know, you're playing God of War 3 and you're cruising through it in 26 hours. Just to get that platinum is like overlooking all of the shit about it.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, that happens, but you can't help that. I don't think that. I mean, what we're talking about isn't the majority. It's not even close to the majority. It's a super small percentage of gamers that are just looking to trophy hunt and looking to speed run shit. Like I don't really give a fuck about gamer score, and I don't care about my trophies. The first game I ever platinumed was Marvel Spider-Man, and I refuse to try to platinum anything else. Like I'm not going to do it ever again. I'm good. I got a shitload of trophy, gamer like achievements in games, and I'll be like, okay, this is cool. I'm not looking to do that stuff. Like, there's some of them that's actually cool, especially Back for Blood. There's some really cool trophies and achievements that I want to try out, passwords, run stuff or whatever. But other than that, I'm not looking for that part of the experience. Like, we play game. I play games for the experience. I love great stories.
Yeah.
I love great experiences. That's why, like, I'm super hyped for Horizon. I'm super hyped for God of War because those are two games that were fantastic experiences and fantastic stories. If you get that, like, Back for Blood is a cool game because it's fun. Deathloop is actually, the lore in Deathloop is really great. And they tie Dishonored into that world and everything in such a good way. And they do it like through cool side quests and stuff. And, I'm enjoying the story and I love the experience. That game is a fantastic shooter, and it's so fun. And how the power is working, it is so fucking good. Metroid is fuck Metroid, man. Metroid. I only say fuck Metroid because the Joy-Con controller is garbage. But Metroid is doing. I don't think there's much of a massive story in this Metroid game in Dread. There's definitely no Dread.
I think it's just like, isn't it just like survive? Because from what I've read about it, there are parts of the game where there's like an unkillable enemy that's like hunting you, and you gotta
so
chill out.
Those robots are called the Emmy. There's 7 Emmys in the entire game. You only deal with 6 of them. When you go into Emmy zones, they're actually marked zones on every map. You go into these marked zones, and first things first, I'm gonna say it. Fuck it. I hate it when Alien Isolation is the perfect example of a game where the enemy is tethered to your position at all times, and it's supposed to be scary. And because you know how the sausage is made, it becomes frustrating and not scary anymore. Metroid Dread has this issue. There have been points where I was detected by an Emmy, and I'll jump out the Emmy zone and I'll wait it out, or I'll go to another area and come back. And I'll be gone for like 5 minutes, and I'll come back and I walk in that Emmy zone, and that Emmy is right there waiting for me still. And it's like, yeah, so they're tethered to your position, and that's frustrating. And so you have ways to get around all that stuff. You can kind of skip them in a way too. But yeah, like the story, like there's no Dread, there's definitely not a horror aspect that as if they were pushing it before. It's gonna be scared because these things, you can't kill them. You can kill them at the end. That's how you get some of the abilities, is killing them, and you have a means to kill them. You just have to get to your means to kill them, and that's kind of difficult and frustrating when you're trying to do certain things, and again they're tethered to your position. So Metroid Dread is a good game. I'm giving it. I would definitely give it an 8, a strong 8, maybe an 8.5. Like I think it's a fantastic Metroid game. I've been waiting for a 2D Metroid for a long time, so like it's great. Graphically it's good. There are some frame rate issues with cutscenes, which is weird because these are pre-rendered loading screens. Like the loading screens have frame rate issues, but and some of the controls as far as where the weapons lie are all over the place, but you get used to it after a while. But it's definitely not scary. It's definitely not dreadful. It's frustrating. If your dread is based on frustration, they got it. They got it right. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, but if I tell you, I would tell you to get it. Like if you're a fan of Metroid, get it. It definitely feels like an excellent successor to like what Super Metroid was. So they got it right. They did get it right. Like it's a Metroid game. It's a Metroid Metro game. But there are some things I look at it and go, yeah, you could have done without that. The Emmy being that those enemies that they're unkillable and they can come and get you. You could have done without that. That one, you could have made it where it was hard to kill them. And without certain things, you didn't have a fighting chance, and that could have been it. And they'd just been like some cool mini boss thing. That'd have been great. But to make it where they're stalking you no matter what, and then you gotta, I didn't enjoy that portion of it. And like I said, it's like Alien Isolation. You stop enjoying the actual game because the alien's in a room next to yours at all times, or he's above you at all times. And the only time he's not above you is when they script it to not be there. So that's what it is. But with that, we're gonna call it a night because it's definitely too late.
It was a tangent and a half. I tell
my
you,
God, it's so
it was
bad.
fun.
So just trying to forget about the Stadia of play.
That's it. Well, thank you guys for joining us. I hope you guys enjoyed that shit and
or found something to enjoy about
it.
Mm-hmm.
With that, everybody have a good night. That's it. See you guys later. Like shit. What's good, guys? Face Mason here with Talkaholix. And I'd like to take an opportunity to thank you for watching this video. But we need you to do a little favor for us. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to our channel. Hit that like button. Hit the bell for all notifications so you can see all the new content when it comes out. And hit us on our socials. Let's get a little dialogue. We'd love to have you. On behalf of my two brothers, we thank you again, and we'll see you later.